Here we are. I'm so excited to see you, and I cannot wait to hear about your experience at Expo this year. I mean, new place, new faces, I'm sure, but we want to get just a few nuggets from you around what your experience was. What were the big takeaways for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Really interesting year. I think, as you know, Bronwyn, everybody's eagerly awaiting Part 108, and we're hearing little nuggets like, hey, next 60 days, this thing's going to drop. Hey, it's going to be 1,000 pages long. So, people didn't have a lot kind of substantively to speak around it yet, but there's this great anticipation that this is going to happen. This year at the show, we saw, again, kind of a defense corner, if you will, with defense focused companies. What
Okay.
really struck me was the number of, let's call them new entrants or startups in terms of drone technology on the floor, some designs, some companies I'd never seen before. I also kind of noticed a pretty significant international presence.
Hmm.
Germany had a pavilion, Spain, Taiwan. This is kind of an evolution of the event over time where we're seeing more and more. And perhaps it's because Messi Dusseldorf has such a huge hand in this, and they did the event this year in Germany at
Right.
Dusseldorf in back in February. So that could be kind of that international connection. But all of those things were great. And
Wow.
in terms of my Law Tech Connect workshop, we had another successful year.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tell us about that.
yeah, thank you. Like 8 incredible panels. Um, like I think 5 or 6 scholarship programs. Lots. We had a great social networking event Sunday evening
That's
to
great.
kind of kick that off, where people started getting to know each other a little bit, which is always super fun and just a great way to kind of set the stage or set the tone, if you will. So when people showed up Monday, there was already a little bit of a familiarity amongst each other.
Right.
And, we were able to tape those again, Brian, which is awesome. And we're excited this year, not only to put out each panel as Law Tech Connect online once a month. By the way, everybody, the first one's coming up on
Yes.
Tuesday, June 10th. That's rolling up soon, 9 a.m.
Right.
Mountain, 11 a.m. Eastern.
Hmm.
We're going to highlight actually the last panel of the day first,
Wow.
because it was about beyond visual line of sight and UTM. And we
Okay.
had zipline. We had, frankly, one of the only FAA reps running around the floor. She was on my panel. Uh,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hogan Lovells / Commercial Drone Alliance moderated, Liz
Yeah.
Faro. Just a really, Mary Caitlin Ray from Kroll, former
Okay.
FAA counsel, MC Chris Tricky from AX Enterprise,
Okay.
running the New York test site. She was, just really great perspective on kind of what's happening in terms of UTM today, where
Right.
it's going, and what we might expect in the BVLS rule about UTM. So that's a big
Hmm.
one. That'll be our first one up. And then what we'll do with that is publish an article the next day on Autonomy Global, our
Right.
new digital media website in 15
There it
languages.
is. There it
There
is.
it is right there.
And I'll have to make
Uh,
a quick statement. We are a contributor. So,
yes,
yeah.
Bronwyn is one of our ambassadors for drone for training and education, and has written a couple of great articles for us. And so we'll be leveraging that live content online and then also in a written format as well to kind of hit all of those ways and modalities that people learn, right?
Right.
So there'll be 8 more months of goodness of Law Tech Connect going forward. So we're excited about that too.
That is great. Was there any one thing or one new tech or anything that really stood out to you where you were like, aha, look at that?
Interesting. I'm thinking, because, like, if you asked me that about Soft Week, which I had attended a couple weeks prior,
Okay.
no brainer, I'd say like AI.
Well,
I
of
mean,
course.
AI was like everywhere. They had like, I don't know
Right.
how many, like 60 plus AI vendors. I can't even, and of course, Maritime, because they're on Tampa Bay, right? Houston, and kind of walking that floor. Was there one thing that stood out? I'd say, like I said, some new newbies.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of you know, dark hive, who heard of
Right.
them?
Right.
But yet they have these really cool, like, you know, kind of like square looking quad, like pancake drones
Wow.
that when I talk to them, they're like, yeah, this is for SWAT, this is for defense, this is for swarming. You know, you can talk through this thing. You know, I'm thinking, oh, they're here to give Brink a run for their money, right? So
Yeah.
like you saw, and they had a huge presence. I think they were a big sponsor there, the giant booth. You know, you saw some of these newer drone OEMs coming to Exponential, I think, in hopes of not only showcasing what it is they bring to the fight, but also maybe tapping in a little bit to that defense, you know, kind of crowd, if you
Yeah.
will.
That
Yeah.
seems like the big ticket or opportunity right now,
Yeah, for sure.
in the US
I think that's what
specifically.
people think, you know, I mean, you know, there was an announcement about DIU and the green program and really
Yeah.
leveraging green a little bit, you know, lashing it up more tightly, which I think
Really?
people are really excited about. Yeah.
Okay.
That memo came out about a week before the show.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully, you know, with some of the executive orders, presidential memos, SecDef memos coming out about, you know, leveraging AI, commercial technology, command and control. You know, you'll see a little bit, you know, and leveraging, you know, OTAs, other transaction authorities, and things like this.
Right.
You'll see maybe some of these startups getting a shot. I hope so
Yeah.
because right, Anduril was able to break in somehow.
Yeah.
But like on kind of on average, most new companies can't break into defense work. They
Yeah.
just
That's a heavy lift.
it's a heavy lift. And with the
Mhm.
cyber requirements and other things, you know, supply chain, it's a process,
It
right? And
is.
so it'll be interesting to see, you know, over the next couple months, part 108, you know, is the money going to start to flow to some of these newbies? You know, are they going to break into defense? Like, I think those are the three kind of big questions looming out there. And once we get answers to those, I think people sigh, like give a little breath of, you know, really, you know, sigh of relief
Right.
because there's definitely a like a tension right now. Like
Mhm.
where are we? What's happening?
I know.
And, you know, I think that was a little bit palpable. And that's no reflection on the event. This is at every
Yeah.
event I've attended
Right.
since January.
A lot of
Uh,
unknowns.
a lot of unknowns.
A lot of unknowns. Well, Don,
Yeah.
where can we find you next? Where should we be finding you?
Yeah, awesome, Bill. Thank you. You can always find me on Autonomy Global, right?
Okay.
So P3 Tech remains my umbrella company and still have the website, but Autonomy Global is really that digital media hub where
Yes,
we
it
want
is.
people to go. All the podcasts are there, you know, original article every single day, Monday through Friday, occasionally on a Saturday. You know, just chock full of information. In terms of physically where you can find me, busy summer, busy fall.
Yeah.
You know, just ticking them off. Energy Drone Robotics Coalition in Houston, June. Going the FAA Drone AAM Symposium, July. August may or may not go to a counter UAS event, but of course, September's commercial UAV.
Yep.
Then there's some international stuff happening. I'm hoping to tap in. I don't want to really talk about it because like my plans aren't 100% solidified
Yeah.
alone. And
Yeah.
then of course you have right the UAS Summit in North Dakota in October. I'm excited to hit that again. Yeah. So you know
A
maybe
lot of good
maybe
stuff going
Space
on.
Force. Yeah, a lot of
Especially
stuff.
all
Awesome.
over all over the world, that is.
Yeah.
So, well,
Yep.
we appreciate this. Thank you for giving us a little synopsis of what you were doing and your thoughts. It's always quite valuable. And I will put down in the in the notes how people can find you. And thank you once again. And I will talk to you again soon.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.